Hi, Wally. It's Alex here. Just a response to your question about what separates us from other companies. I figured the easiest way would actually be to show you a real example of something that kind of fits within your possible project here, and then describe the differences from that point. But the main one is working with an actual company that designs and provides the screen as a turnkey project. So the way we do touchscreens, it's not an app, it's not a software system to sign up for and then put all the responsibility on the client to try to figure it out and become signage experts themselves. But instead, we're delivering something that already has created the experience. And then we're going to hand it over to them with all the functionality to do all the updates that they want. So from this point of view, your client is not going to have to learn spreadsheets and how that spreadsheet interacts with this Google gadget or app or whatever else. We can tie in all that stuff into the screens. All that's no problem. But when they update their screen, they're going to have a beautiful online account, one specific place. They don't have to know all the functionality, and most people are at ease knowing that they don't have to worry about it. On top of that, we're one of the only companies out there that I have ever seen that does proactive support and monitoring. Usually this stuff kind of gets pushed by the wayside, but I'm telling you, it's one of the most important pieces of any display project, and it's why we work nationwide. We have a monitoring system that goes on every single display. We can check their status. I can tell you in real time if our displays are online or offline. If we check into a display in the morning and we see that it's not connected for some reason, we proactively call and make sure that it's working and get people involved, whoever needs to be involved to get the display working. Usually it's just an internet connection type thing. So that's the huge difference, is not only the support, but the fact that you're not working with the software company. You're not working with just a sales guy who's going to point you over to a login. You're working with someone who's going to deliver the actual product. Now, as a demo here, what you're looking at is an idle screen. So in my email to you, I described that this is the screen that comes up when the screen is not being touched. It's a slideshow loop, and there's lots of ways that we can do these idle screens. It doesn't have to be a slideshow like this. It could be videos, could be a walkthrough of the display, but we can do some real advanced things. So that's kind of where we get into further discussion if this becomes a larger project. The user can touch anywhere on the idle loop and it brings them to the home screen. Again, working with someone who does touch screens is important because they'll know to put the navigation across the bottom. The way that we build them is so that they can be compliant with ADA. So people with disabilities that come into that facility can now access and navigate the screen because this is an information source for them. Advanced functionality is one of those important things too. For example, we can build in swiping. We can build in the finger pinching, all the different floating pictures. I can show you that in a little bit too. Full videos with animation that comes down to bring them on.
Welcome to Augustana College.
I turned off the sound, by the way. In part of phase 2, I mentioned that we can incorporate those donor lists that you mentioned. So I saw those donor etched plates. You can swipe up and down lists. You can even touch on names to see more information about the donor themselves. Maybe put in a video or a picture or their story here. You can touch on the categories. You can even do searching as well. So again, advanced type functions that using just a regular sign-in software may not provide you. Here's an example of a picture that can be dragged around the screen. If someone touches on it, they could use their finger. They could actually resize this just like they would on a phone. In phase 2, I also mentioned that you can email from the screen. So here's where you can fill out a form. This is a demo, so our keyboard's a little bit bigger. But people can type in information into there. Going to this alumni screen, here's the quiz. Now again, this is something we made ourselves. This isn't just something where they're going to fill out a Google spreadsheet and find a way to add it in as a gadget. This is something that we can tie in the questions and answers directly to an online account, so all they have to do is log in, change them, and click publish. Now let's just walk through this real quick because you notice a couple different things. One is the movement between the between the question and the answer, the incrementing at the top, the selection of the letter, the changing of the colors of the buttons. Those are all pieces that are built in when you actually have someone who builds touchscreens. Now let's go through this whole thing and let's get to the aggregate part where it tells you how well you did. I probably didn't do too well. 9. Now we're on question 10. I got 1 out of 10. So this is something that's kind of nice. After someone creates or goes through the quiz or answers those questions that you're talking about, we could either email them something, we could have a QR code that they could scan, it could play a video, it could do a variety of different things. The conditional formatting that we can program in is well more advanced than most people could ever learn on a login software type deal. Now I'll show you what this actually looks like on the back end. This is the account that we created for the client. This is our old logo, by the way. If they want to change that idle loop that comes up after a couple minutes of inactivity, here it is. They can click on it, they can add text, change the picture, let people know of upcoming events, and it all gets included. Here's the Excel lists, which we would tie this the same way as if they wanted to update their quiz. You could click edit on a certain field. It brings up the actual form so that, again, we're not dealing with spreadsheets here. It's something that's already built in. Adding new records, adding questions, all that kind of stuff would be done right here. Updating videos would be done as well from their online account.
Welcome to Augustana College.
And then those profiles. So we have donor profiles that people can swipe through. Those missions and points of pride that you can swipe through. Here's a place to update a picture, the title. You can click on descriptions, change the description. Again, all that kind of stuff keeps your client specifically focused and allows them to do what they do best, which is just keep up with the content. And on top of that is just having the company to go to whenever they need help. They're not going to have to call an 800 number software provider and decide whether, if a problem happens on their screen, whether it's a cable unplugged or whether it's something software. That's something that we can tell immediately with our monitoring system by checking in. Again, the ability for us to monitor all of our screens across the whole country is invaluable because it allows us to proactively make sure all of our screens work and look good. This is what if you just wanted to see what the end product of this screen looked like, the picture does not do it justice, but this is a completely backlit graphic. It's beautiful. And here's the screen that walks through. This is right outside of one of their lunch halls. This was so successful they installed another one in a brand new building that was built for their Center for Student Leadership. Anyways, I hope that paints a picture a little bit for you, Wally. We're not just a software company, we are delivering the product and we're supporting it, standing by your customer throughout the year to make sure that it works. So most clients that choose us really find value in that support, and that's what allows us to stay true to who we work with. Hope that helps. Have a great weekend. Talk to you soon, Wally.